generally speaking, again, broad strokes, men engage in sexual activity because of a physical drive. Mm-hmm. Women engage in sexual activity because of an emotional drive, right? Generally speaking. So what that means is sex is very physically draining for men, sex is very emotionally draining for women, right? So when ravens, who are male intelligence officers trying to develop a target, when ravens go after female targets, they already know it will likely take more time to build the emotional connection to be able to generate the type of persuasive appeal to lead to logical influence. They just know it. So they know there's going to be more time on target, more effort, more dates, more patience, more cerebral engagement. Because until you unlock a woman's emotional connection, it's very difficult to get her compromised physically. Swallows have the opposite problems. Swallows know that if they wanted to, they could walk up to somebody and be like, let's have sex. And for the most part, the senators and congressmen are going to be like, sure, just don't tell my wife, right? So swallows have a different problem because having sex does not mean they're going to be giving secrets. So they have to find a way to use sex as the lure to get to the place where the male becomes emotionally interested and shares the secrets. Because the sex is not the goal. Blackmail is never the goal. That's what movies make you think. Having sex with somebody just to get blackmail is silly. You have sex with somebody to get secrets, and then you use blackmail to keep the sex happening. Now, movies don't get that right. You do not have a swallow or a honey trap that has sex with a target and then says, I'm going to tell your wife unless you give me these secrets. It's not how it works. The swallow has sex with the man, and then the man says secrets during their connection phase, right? And then the man's like, I can't have sex with you anymore. And then the swallow says, I'm really connected to you. I really love you and trust you. If you don't keep having sex with me, I'm going to tell your wife and your boss that you told me about these secrets. And then the man's like, oh, well, if you're going to force me to keep having sex with you and keep it quiet, I guess I can't argue with that. That's the real power of a sexual exploitation operation.
But then for the other way, for the raven, you have to get them emotionally bought in first to have the sex.
Correct.
And it's the combination of the two that then allows them to reveal the secrets?
So women will actually reveal secrets faster than men.
Really?
So ravens will actually get access to secrets before sex is an option. Because what's going to happen is through those emotional persuasions, the woman will feel like she can trust the person. Before a woman will trust her body to a man, she will often trust information to the man. Whereas men will often trust their body to a woman before they trust information to a woman.
Wow, that's so incredible. I had no idea. And what's so fascinating, I heard a study, maybe you've heard of it or you can correct me, but I heard a study that it was something like they did with this, they looked at like torture and trying to get secrets out of people. The guys give the secrets up way quicker. The woman will go to her death.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised by what you just said, because part of me is like, okay, yeah, you can torture a woman. A woman ain't giving up her secrets. It's like, nope, I got my friends back. I got my husband's back. I got my kids back, whatever. But the revealing it from the emotional, that they're easier to do, that's...
You're two different hormones.
Yeah, like help me think through this.
Yeah. You're seeing the power of hormones. When someone's being tortured, the hormone that's being released is cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Women have an incredible tolerance for cortisol. That's why you have babies. That's why you've seen women who can just take an incredible amount of stress that would otherwise make a man crack, right? Women have an incredible tolerance for cortisol. Men have a very low tolerance. Again, generally, have a very low tolerance for cortisol. So when torture has presented itself, both people, both men and women in general, will absorb high cortisol levels. But then as it continues to be ramped up over time, men will crack and they will find a way to end the stress, right? They will believe that they can save themselves the stress, where women's tolerance is just higher. And because women have a sense of clarity as their cortisol levels go up.
Oh, really?
They know that breaking is not actually going to stop the stress, where men end up having foggier heads, less cognitive capability as their cortisol levels go up. So what ends up happening for men is that men will end up believing that they can somehow get out of the pain. Like, oh, if I tell you what you want, you're going to stop hurting me. Where women are like, even if I tell you what you want, you're still going to kill me. So I'm not going to tell you, right? So that's a completely different hormone than dopamine and oxytocin. Here's what's also fascinating. Sex will build new neural connections and new brain matter. So sex is actually empirically good for the brain, but it builds it in different ways for men and women. When women have sex, it is their logical brain that grows. More pink matter, more white matter, more logical processing power. So a woman's logical left brain, their language capabilities, their reasoning, their memory increases with sex. When men have sex, it is actually their right brain, their creative brain, that increases. Their emotional empathy, their ability to connect, their ability to increase their EQ happens with sex. So with men and women, like my wife and I, you and Tom, you've been having sex for years. You have been boosting his creative brain. He has been boosting your logical brain. When I look back on my relationship with my wife, that is 100% true. When we first met, I was not a very creative person. She was not a very rational person. After however many years of sex, she is now actually, you can see the mental development.
Wow. I didn't know that either.